Mobley Contractors Incorporated of Morrilton, Arkansas has completed a nearly $7 million contract awarded by the United States Army Corps of Engineers to construct a maintenance bulkhead and siphon project on the Norfork Dam and Power Plant on the Norfork River in northern Arkansas. Phase 1 of the two-phase project was the installation of a 40-foot tall, 50-foot wide bulkhead to create a dry work area similar to a cofferdam at each spillway gate on the dam. The maintenance bulkhead, or spillway closure structure, consists of a steel monorail supported on existing dam piers that enable the 65-ton bulkhead to be moved and positioned in front of each of the 12 spillway gate bays to seal and dewater a working area for maintenance or to demonstrate gate operability. Mobley Contractors was the prime contractor and sub-portions to Kuntz Electric of Morrilton, Arkansas, Anglin Crane Incorporated of Pecola, Oklahoma, and Mainstream Commercial Divers Incorporated of Murray, Kentucky. Garver USA Incorporated was the project designer. The bulkhead, once installed, is supported by a group of 8 motorized trolleys that carry the bulkhead as it travels along a monorail beam attached to the face of the dam at each pier. The monorail beam, which is 674 feet in length, is attached to 16 cantilever beams that in turn are attached to the piers under the bridge spans over each spillway gate. With anchor bolts 1.5 inch by 4 feet were placed in core drill holes 2.5 inches in diameter using a steel template as a guideline. Mobley's crew designed a cantilever lifting beam to handle and position the 2,000-pound template, as well as subsequent permanent cantilever beams to support the monorail beam. With the installation of the 213 anchor bolts, 675 feet of monorail beam was fashioned to provide the travelway for the 4-story tall bulkhead. The bulkhead itself was constructed in 2 halves at an off-site fabrication shop in St. Louis and shipped to the job site for final assembly. The final assembly required approximately 25 pieces either welded or bolted to the bulkhead assembly. The welding of the 2 halves was closely monitored for welding and fit-up tolerances. This was achieved by using temporary steel supports with shims and hydraulic jacks. The assembly required nearly 4 weeks, with workers using 1,000 pounds of welding rods. A third-party welding inspection team was hired for quality control assurances. To install a 4-story tall, 50-foot wide bulkhead that weighs nearly 130,000 pounds required a critical and complicated installation plan. Mobley procured the services of Anglin Crane, and after months of planning and sharing different concepts, the team decided on a specific erection plan. The bulkhead, lying horizontal at the on-site assembly yard, would be hoisted by 2 cranes and placed on a multi-axle self-propelled unit carrier to be transferred to an area near the north end of the dam. A moving date was set, and the Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department was notified for road closure on the dam. Other entities notified included the Emergency Medical Services, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the local newspaper, Anglin Crane, KEI, and others to assist in the critical task. After the road closure, Anglin Crane steered the carrier vehicle into position. 3 cranes, a 265-ton capacity, 165-ton, and 50-ton capacity, were utilized to raise the bulkhead up flat, then stand it vertical with a third smaller crane tailing the lift until the bulkhead was up in the upright position. With the 2 larger cranes, the bulkhead was suspended from 2 lift points and a tilt test was performed. All went well, and now Mobley Contractors was ready for the next step. 2 semi-trucks trailers were parked in the roadway, parallel, fitted with a special U-shaped bracket to support the bulkhead. The plan was to move the bulkhead while in a vertical position 2,500 feet across the dam. The vertical transport was necessary because of the roadway median area and the dam's elevator tower that was located at the edge of the roadway. Most of the day was spent with the two larger cranes holding the bulkhead in a vertical position, allowing workmen to attach stabilization chains and pipe bracing. Once stabilized, the team decided the best option would be to make the move with an early morning start and no wind. March 28, 2012, at 7 a.m., with no wind and blue sky, the two trucks, parked parallel to each other, began to slowly ease off the clutch and roll across the dam. A few tense moments was shared when the trucks approached the median and it became clear there was only a 6-inch clearance for the tires on each side of the roadway and a mere 4-inch clearance for the U-shaped bracket and its load over the raised median. All went well, and the trucks rolled to a stop just past the median in the designated spot at 7:30. For the next step, the two large cranes were positioned on either side of the two semi-trucks and connected to the lift points on the bulkhead to lower it over the side of the dam. 3 to 4 truckloads of counterweights had to be installed on each crane prior to making the lift. Once done, the temporary bracing was removed, and with the two cranes controlling the load, a signalman directed each crane to hoist and slowly swing and boom down into a position to lower the bulkhead. The bulkhead had to be lowered a few feet for the handrail to clear the trolley linkage. With this done, the bulkhead was moved into position and the linkage connected. With the linkage connected, the bulkhead was lowered to a final position and the cranes released. The Mobley team celebrated a successful installation at 1:30 p.m. with the bulkhead now swinging from the monorail in 150 feet of water as the one-year Phase 1 project was completed.